just the two of us. Copyright.
Yeah.
After the party we had last week with so many people, it is kind of nice to just come back where there's only two of us. I love all the people, but
a more cozy gathering.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. It's it's a different vibe. It's a different vibe.
Mm-hmm.
It's cute. But hello, everyone. Welcome to the Cup, the Currently Unnamed Podcast, where we put the real and the tea in reality, and you can always come to us first to quench your thirst. I'm Logan River. Say something gay. And as it is still morning for me, I don't know why I need to justify it. I'm drinking coffee, obviously.
It's always time for coffee.
There's always time for coffee, in the abbreviated words of Mrs. Kasha Davis. In my cat lover mug, because I knew River was going to be the only other person here, so I picked this out specifically. We're drinking hazelnut caramel coffee today, because that's the combination of flavors I wanted to have today. But also, I have my beautiful, fabulous, lovely cup mug with duck. I have a duck on it now. Yes.
You better walk that duck.
You better walk that fucking duck, or just sit on top of my cup mug. And you can get your cup mug, duck not included, unfortunately, at lanagcreations.etsy.com. Link is in the description below. And we do ship domestically within North America and internationally, so there are no excuses. Unless you live in a specific region of Brazil. I'm so sorry, River. I don't know what's happening.
I mean, something happened. Who knows? But hi, I'm River, your Brazilian correspondent here on the Cup. And today we have Cat and Bird, because I chose my Tweety mug to drink some water out of.
Yay! I love it. We are nearing the end of this season of RuPaul's Drag Race. Oh my goodness. It is episode 13. We still have 3 weeks left, though.
Like, when it's crazy because I stop and I think about season 8. By this point, yes. It was already like All-Stars 2.
Yeah. Yeah. We were already halfway through All-Stars 2 at this point. But yeah, we've got the makeover.
Your favorite challenge.
Because usually, and I talk about it every season, there's a makeover. Usually at the makeover challenge, one of my favorite queens goes home. And so I went into this challenge and I said, great, one of my favorites is probably going to go home. And that didn't happen, and I loved it. So I loved this challenge. Also, I forgot to mention, I am wearing, since David's not here, I am wearing the cute shirt today. I am wearing my Boom Turing shirt because you should check out the video we just dropped earlier this week. Our Slasian Royale fan casting video talking about Drag Race Philippines Slasian Royale. We're very excited about it. So check out that video. We talked about who we want to see.
Nobody chose the Slasian Diva of LA.
Well,
for their cast. What is that about?
I think it's too soon. I think it might be too soon for Miss Joella to make her return. I considered it. I'm not going to lie to you. She is, a very prominent part of this season. I did not forget the Ella, personally. But I felt like it might be a little too soon to see her on the first Slasian Royale. Potentially in a future Slasian Royale, we will see the Slasian Diva of LA. And I would like to see it. But make sure to go check out our Slasian Royale video. It was a lot of fun to make. And maybe we'll have other Slasian Royale related videos coming very soon. Who knows? But we're going to dive into this makeover episode. Before we do, make sure to subscribe if you've not already, because we're here almost all the time giving you almost all things drag. Currently, we just wrapped up Drag House Rules. Lana and David held down the fort over there. So make sure to check out all of our coverage of Drag House Rules. And we're covering the new season of Morbid Drag's Reinas Malditas. Very exciting, very fun formatting. If you like Dragula or you like La Mas Draga, or even Drag Race Mexico, I really think you're going to like Morbid Drags. It's very unique, The drag is really good. There's a lot of really cool lore. So if you're interested, we did cover the premiere episode with extra special guest Desiree Dick from the Boulet Brothers Dragula season 666. So make sure to go check out that episode as well. And we'll still be here covering season 17, obviously. And go check out all 3 of our other channels as well. We're pumping out content almost every single day across all 4 of our channels. So all those links are in the description. You can also find our audio podcast links and our Patreon and our social media links all down there. So we come back into the workroom and Lana's gone. Yeah.
I mean, but the way that she went out, though, on a high note.
Can we talk, River? Can we talk about it again, please? Because you were not here for the recap last week. But
the fact that she won the lip sync.
The fact that she won. I mean, absolutely. I do love Sam. I love Sam.
And she did a good job. Also,
she did a great job in that lip sync. Mm-hmm. She did a great job in that lip sync. But Lana won that lip sync.
Hello. I mean, yes. And also, like, she went home when she started to do, like, she was doing better. So, like, she was on an up trajectory when she went home. Even though she was in the bottom, in my opinion, not because she did bad, just because everyone else did better.
Yeah.
But she's gonna have a great arc for All Stars.
Yes, and I think we will see her in a few years after that.
Mm-hmm.
I think we will see her, and I would like to see it. I would definitely.
An iconic placement. Hello,
Sixters. Hello,
mm-hmm.
hello.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, Sam is very distraught over both sending home Lana, who obviously they just worked together in the challenge, so there is a bit of like being upset over just sending home the person that you were working with this challenge, but also like, as she said throughout the episode, she was doing very, very well in the season, and then all of a sudden, bottom at the end of the season. Like that's gotta rock you to your core.
Yeah, because she opposite of Lana, like she started doing so good, and then now, like by the end, then she goes down a little bit, like she has that slip up or that trip, and but here's the thing, it just shows how good she is, because she was only in the bottom because there's so few queens at this point that someone has to, and so
it kind of felt like
the pageant brain, like I get it why she reacted that way.
Totally. It feels like we're making another season 8 reference today. I don't know what it is. It feels like when Bob was in the bottom against Derek on season 8, it was kind of just like, it's literally just because Naomi, Kim, and Chi-Chi did better than Bob and Derek in that ball challenge. Like Bob didn't do bad by any means of the imagination.
Yeah.
It was like, realistically, that was a bottom 1, and someone just needed to send... I love Derek dearly. But
love Derek.
But it was a bottom 1, and someone needed to send her home, and Bob was the least successful of the 4 other people.
Also, with that being the lip sync song, giving Bob the opportunity to perform that
with
song
the
for us,
there.
Thank you.
It was either Bob or Chi-Chi. And with the storyline they had, thank you for letting Bob lip sync that song.
But very much that situation.
So there's also a lot of talk about Sam is like, and I'm not going to be lip syncing again, and everyone's like, cut two. And Sam is out here still blaming Lexi, and I'm like, girl.
Whatever you need to tell yourself, baby, you do it.
No, absolutely not. Take accountability for your own shit. I'm sorry. Don't go out here chasing the idea that Lexi is the reason you didn't do well. For all we know, you could have flopped and Lexi Love could have sent your ass home.
And here's the thing. In that challenge, Sam did worse than her partner, in my opinion. So, like,
Yeah,
it
Sam
wasn't
was
her
the
partner's
least
fault because she was the worst.
Lana did better than Sam in that challenge,
Exactly.
point blank, and the period. And in
If
that
anything, Sam dragged Lana down. If anything,
exactly,
like,
exactly.
let's be real.
The math ain't math in Miss Sam Star. Let's be real here.
Look at the
Genuine here on the
material.
pod. Look at the material, ma'am.
But I love the
but then
delusion. That confessional woman was great. It was great.
Oh,
I
her
loved
delusion this entire season, I am obsessed with.
Mhm.
I am obsessed with. I'm obsessed with this top 5. I do love top 6 for this matter. I love all of them. But there's talk now of not really disregarding anyone, because obviously the person with the worst quote unquote track record is Jules, because she only has 1 win, but she's been in the top so much that, like,
A lot of high placements.
yeah, I want to look here at well, I already updated points after this round. Because I was going to say I want to look at track record as far as, like, before this episode, who did have the most, like, points as far as track record was concerned going into this episode, including all of Jules's high placements, because I think she had 4 high placements going into this episode, but only 1 win. So it's like, I get it. I understand. If we're going off of just wins, sure, Jules does have the worst track record. But if we're going off of, you know, the entirety of the placements.
And also talk about consistency. Like, she did well. She placed high on design challenges, acting challenges, and comedy challenges. Like
I think the person with the least consistent track record at this point actually
is Lexi. Yeah. Which
I
love Lexi. I'm obsessed with her. She's my
Lexi,
favorite queen personality, like, person of this season.
I agree.
I don't think I thought in the beginning of the season, like, she was my pick to win. I still am the most obsessed with her out of the cast, but my pick to win is Anya. Period. Yeah. Given the performance during the whole competition so far.
Yeah.
So far. But
yeah, I agree with that. And then we cut to Anya doing an interpretive dance of a turkey.
So good. Look.
At the end of the day,
I appreciate that.
At the end of the day, all you can do is do an interpretive dance of a turkey.
Some people ask themselves why. They ask themselves why not.
True. I live.
Why not?
So we come back in to the workroom the next day, and we get a mini challenge. How fun. I love a mini challenge. And it's a new one, a new classic we've been getting over the last couple of challenges, or not challenges, seasons.
Mm-hmm.
It's Spill the Tea, sponsored by Q-List. It's the Majority Rules challenge.
It's kind of superlatives, but not really, like, similar in structure, but like not like it's like most likely to, or who would do, like, it's different types of questions, but kind of in the same idea.
Those of us that are of the podcasters that we have here, those of us that are orgers know this game very well, because it's a game that is done very frequently in mini games, in LRGs, like it's like, because you want to be in the majority, because then you get points and then you win. Like, that's the whole premise of it. It's like, oh yes, majority rules, got it, cool, got it.
It's not about answering what you really think, is like what you think is going to be.
It's literally not about answering what you think. I mean, in this case, a lot of the girls did. But it's not necessarily about answering what you think.
There are different ways to play.
There are a lot of different ways to play this. But we had whose personality is most like a box of chocolates? You never know what you're going to get. And it was a tie between Anya and Lexi. Who's most likely to fake an orgasm in public? And it was a tie between Jules and Lexi. But Susie voted for herself and then decided to fake an orgasm, and it was bad.
Susie should ask herself why more.
Susie
You know, like honestly, truly, why? But anyway,
I thought she was a theater kid.
well, it is what it is. But it reminded me of that telenovela challenge.
Oh God.
But the where they had to fake the orgasm and the whole please. Yeah. Coco. Oh my God. Anyway, it was very that.
Don't put Susie Toot in the telenovela challenge.
Oh no. No, that's not cerebral enough for her. You know, you need
not cerebral enough.
You know. Yeah.
Oh Lord. We then had Godzilla versus Beast, and it was Susie Toot. Who do you want to say Hasta La Vista to? And it was Susie and Anya. And I do love, we had Jules voted for Anya. Anya voted for Jules.
And they were like, bitch.
Who's most likely to go to a little bathhouse in Texas? Sam.
And probably did. I
didn't realize Sam was that much of a slut.
Well, maybe Samuel is. Who knows?
I mean, I think if a couple of other girls were still on this season, I think a couple of other girls might have been voted before Sam. But
sure.
Acacia. You've seen the rhinestone jockstrap, right?
No, and I'm you know what? I'm good without. I'm
okay.
Good. I'm good.
Okay.
But lovely. Love that for her.
It's very nice, I'm not gonna lie. Who's most likely to go to an after hours bar in New York City? Unanimous Lexi Love, and nobody's surprised. Nobody's surprised. The cameramen, the PAs, RuPaul
she was
himself,
like,
everybody
immediately,
voted for Lexi. Me. Hey, we love a self-aware queen. We do.
Exactly.
We really do. And then who's going home next?
Yet again.
And everyone but Jules voted for Jules.
Mm-hmm. And Jules said Susie.
Jules said Susie. I mean, that's
which is what I thought when I saw like makeover challenge and I saw who was still in the competition.
Well, at this point, they didn't know
oh,
it was a makeover.
Right, but like we knew, like when I saw the preview last week, that's what I thought. I was like, Susie might,
Sure,
but
that's fair. That's
and probably fair. they watched the shows, so they were probably like expecting maybe a makeover challenge.
Like there's only a couple of challenges that they usually do at a top 5. It's either a makeover, some kind of like scripted acting challenge, or the performance challenge, which spoiler we get next week. So, right. Or like music video kind of situation. So in most of those instances, it's not necessarily something that Susie is going to inherently excel in. And obviously we'll talk about this.
In theory, right?
In theory, totally. On paper, you know, but yes, everyone answers Jules except for Jules. But on points, our mini challenge winner is Miss Anya Nerve. And she wins
like she needed like Brooke needed more points on the draft. I mean,
oh my God! And according to the Lucy LaDuca system, she has 5 wins. Anya 5 wins, Nerve! Yay!
Yeah,
I love to see it. But we find out that our Maxi challenge is the family makeover, and we get all of their families brought in. It's their parents and
mother father makeover.
Yes. Now, conspiracy.
Oh.
Did they just not have a mother or father for Lana? Like, knowing what we know now about Lana's parents.
But still, like, they could, for example, for Canada, season 4, I think, With Aurora, they brought like her best friend, like her chosen family.
True.
So they could have done that, like maybe not Lux because she does drag, but like
right.
they could have maybe gotten someone from her chosen family. I don't think it's. I mean, it would make sense that the difficulty
here.
But...
The difficulty here is that it's everyone had either their mother or their father. So like, that's just where I'm at with it. But it was lovely to see everyone's mom or dad. We had Sam's mom, Leslie. Mm-hmm. I see where Sam gets all of
everything.
Everything.
And the fact that, and the name Leslie, the fact that her mom's name is Leslie. Makes perfect sense. Like, that makes sense.
Yeah. Susie Tooth's mom, Suzanne
Tooth.
Literally maiden name Susan Toot.
Yep.
Love it. Anya's dad, Andre, and she fell the fuck
reaction
out.
That would have been me. If it was like my mom, that would have been me.
Yeah.
The fact that Anya started crying when Sam's mom came out because she knew it was gonna be like it was gonna be that, so she was already like
yeah. It was something else.
I cry every time this happened. Like every single one, I always cry my eyes out.
Yeah. We get Jules' dad, Douglas. Hey, Queen!
Man. Hey, Queen!
I was like, I didn't know we had Johnny McGovern in here. Jesus. Like, no shade to Johnny McGovern. I met him. He's a cool guy. I like Johnny. But no, that was fun. I like it. I like Jules' dad. And then we get Lexi's mom, Miss Tammy. Miss Tammy. And
Lexi, when she saw it, I related so bad. She was like, "Mommy." I'm like,
I know.
Yes. And then knowing like the little bit that we know about,
I was gonna say, yeah.
And we're gonna get to more of that, but like, just the initial reaction, I was like, wow. Just seeing, like, for Lexi, just seeing that her mom like accepted to be there, and then we'll talk about everything else. But like,
totally
love it.
Yeah, it was emotional. Obviously, our challenge: put your parental figure in drag, bitch. And that's the challenge. So
drag family resemblance, because sometimes they do like you have to be the drag,
you have to,
queen needs to be the mother, and then the other like they sometimes give you a specific, right? This is just like family. Drag family. Yeah.
This was just family. I liked how open-ended it was. Thank God I didn't need a specific for this challenge. I was really happy with that.
Like Mexico season 2, like the luchador thing, like
God. Fuck that
anyway.
Challenge. I hate it.
Fuck that.
Seriously. Fuck that challenge. I hated that luchador fucking makeover challenge.
Me too.
God. I will never.
I'm sorry for bringing it up. It's so upsetting. I know.
Never in my life get over that fucking luchador makeover challenge. Sorry, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Fuck that challenge. Okay, so we have a bunch of workroom stuff that happens before the Ru walkthroughs. What stood out to you, River?
Sam with her mom, when Sam said, "Pitch what you want to look like," and her mom immediately, without a second thought, Dolly.
I love Miss Leslie. I love her.
Dolly, period.
And then she was like, I want some like big boobs, like not jewels, but like chains. Like, and Sam goes, "Oh, are you into S&M now?" And she's like, "No, I'm not into S&M." I love
so them. Good.
I love them so much.
And also I loved for Sam that like she got to see her mom right after like being in the bottom and like being emotional. So she had that
and she got to
comfort,
debrief a little bit. She was like, and I love when she
let it out.
I've been doing so well, but I was just in the bottom. We're gonna win. Her
mom was like, "Oh, we're gonna win. We're winning."
Well, Well, Julie.
And did.
Yes, indeed. We find out about Anya's dad, who has been in and out of prison for robbing banks.
Robbing 5 banks.
Robbing 5 banks, specifically 5.
5.
This man comes on RuPaul's Drag Race to support his son and has the goddamn nerve to suggest Rob Herta Banks as a drag name.
Screaming.
The gall, the nerve, the cheek, the gall, the audacity, and the gumption of this man.
I see where Anya gets the nerve.
I see it.
Girl, I laughed so hard that I had to rewind because I was laughing so loud that I missed things that were happening.
Yeah.
So good.
And I love that Anya very quickly was like, that ain't gonna work.
We're not doing that. It's not.
We're not.
What we're not gonna do.
What we're not gonna do is rob Herta Banks.
I mean, Ru would have loved it though. They should have brought that up in the talks with Ru.
Right.
But then I don't think they would be able to back out of it.
Yeah.
But Ru, I mean, we know. But then Susie with her mom first of all, immediately when she came in, I was like, kind of weird, but also like these parents are not used to all of that, being on TV and all of so maybe I was like, okay, maybe she's like shy, whatever. But the tension,
as we found out throughout the episode, Susie's parents, it sounds like both of them are not really all that in tune with the drag universe that Susie is in. So, it was very good for Susie to have her mom kind of step into her universe in this way. But her mom was very out of place. Like, really, honestly, it felt like the only parent that felt very out of place. And she was like, I can't do heels. I have low energy. I don't know.
She
how much
wanted to be there for her son. So and
I love that.
So I appreciate that. Yeah.
Love that.
It was rough.
Susie's a little bit concerned, but in the classic Susie Toot way, she's like, I'm going to take this and I'm going to adopt this for the character that I have for these looks and I'm going to make it work. It felt very Project Runway, very make it work moment. And I love that. So,
but I will say it felt a bit, and I understand families are complex and we know barely nothing about whatever, you know what I mean? I'm not necessarily judging, but it did feel a little bit uncomfortable to watch.
I agree.
At some points. But it did progress throughout the episode. It got better throughout the episode. But at first, it was a little uncomfortable to watch it.
I'm gonna say until the getting ready for the runway, it felt a little awkward.
Day.
Yeah. Until then, there's a very specific conversation between Susan and Leslie. And I think that's where the tide shifts. And we'll talk about it. Oh, I didn't mean to make an Alabama reference. Ew. Because Roll Tide. Yeah. Ew. Anyway.
Right. But then we have Jules.
Oh, boy, this was...
Girl.
We find out that Jules' older brother got killed in a car accident in 2022, and kind of the family really hasn't been the same ever since. And that really explains a lot of the drive for Jules being in the competition, and a lot of her insecurity and drive for the competition makes all of the sense now. It
and
makes
also
her
her joy, I guess, because she her energy really I don't know if she was like that before, or maybe it was something that was kind of already inside of her, and then after that it just kind of elevated or intensified. But just she's so very, very much the same energy that I felt with Betsy Johnson, like just that love of life and just like good energy, kind of. I don't know how else to explain. And
I get that.
Knowing this, it kind
see
of makes sense. Like when you go through a dark period, you're like, okay, I need to like live now. I need to
And I mean, presumably, and unfortunately for a lot of these girls, like this might be their only opportunity on Drag Race, so live it up. Like,
right. Exactly.
I don't think it's gonna be her only shot on Drag Race. I'm gonna be honest. I think even like if she wins, it may be, but if she doesn't win, I think we're gonna see Jules back on Drag Race for sure in some capacity.
Or maybe like even Vegas. Maybe, who knows?
I would love to see Jules in the Vegas show.
I
think that would be great. But yeah, and then seeing her dad being so positive, she was like, this is one of the first times I've seen my dad like back to normal in a while. And I was like, oh, I love that.
Like he was the sweetest man. Like just
I love him.
Truly, like I see the family resemblance in how him and Jules like just are. But like,
and then when he put on the giant tits,
living for it. Love it.
And then when he put on the giant tits, I loved it. Yeah. I loved every moment of it.
He was living.
And then when Andre put on the giant tits, and he was like, Viola Davis, kind of.
Viola Davis or whatever. I was like, yes.
I live. Oh, I live.
There was also a moment with Lexi and her mom, like when they just the first time that they moved to them talking on the table. Yeah. Lexi said, I'm dead right now. And her mom said, what do you mean? And I thought that was so
right.
Because it's just like, it's very our reality.
It's so our generation, like
lingo. Like if we talk to anyone else that is not in this world like that, they're going to be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Right. It's so like we know exactly what she means, but Miss Tammy had no clue.
No idea.
But Lexi was just the entire episode going between being so grateful and sobbing.
Yeah.
And
like the hormones plus this, plus like the whole thing that like plus the exhaustion of the competition, like my God.
Miss Lexi was all over the damn place in this whole episode, and I felt for her so fiercely.
Not in a bad way though. Like
no, not in a bad
way.
Very
much emotional roller coaster.
Yes, but I loved how fully in for the process she was for Lexi. Like I loved Tammy here. Like I really appreciated her. Like all the parents for sure, but especially what we know about Tammy and her journey with Lexi. Like I really appreciated the whole process, and just like she was like, nope, I'm in it. We're gonna win this for you. Like this is your dream. This is what you've been working for. I'm going to make sure that we do everything we can to make sure that you win this. Yeah. And I loved that. I just absolutely fucking loved that.
Me too. It's kind of like, I can't say this is what she was thinking about this, but like the way that I see it, it's kind of like as a parent, you can't change what you did in the past, but you can change what you're doing now. So like she can't go back and like not kick Lexi out of the house, but she can do this now and like
exactly
and change now. You know what I mean? So
Andre can't do anything about Rob Herda Banks
and not being there in Anya's childhood because
not being there for her high school graduation. But what he can do now is be here to support her now. And like I love that. Like I really do love that. So we get Susie is wrapping plastic bags around her mother's head. And I have never seen a woman look so miserable.
She looked like a man was telling her to smile. Like, true.
Because he was.
Well,
maybe. Oh my God, I loved it.
Oh, but there was a moment, I don't know where exactly this was, but Lexi was talking to her mom kind of. So
right after this moment. I was about to bring this up. Yep.
Okay, so go ahead.
So Lexi, right after this, is talking to her mom, and she's like, her mom is like, give me the tea. Basically, like, give me the tea. Who, like,
what's the tea?
Talk, like, I want to know about everyone. And she's like, okay, well, in the orange is Susie. She's been doing really well. She's someone that's gotten me in my head in this competition because she was like honing her craft while I was smoking meth in a strip club. And we cut to Lexi in confessional, and she's like, yeah, Lexi was doing all of like the theater kid things that I never got. Or Susie was doing all of the theater kid things that I never got to do because I got kicked out of the house and all that kind of stuff. Light bulb moment. Susie is me in an alternate universe. And I was like, Lexi cracked the code!
Right? Like,
yes, Lexi! We got finally there 13 episodes later! Yes!
When she said it, I was like, finally.
Finally!
Because like we could all see it, and it's just like comparing yourself is your worst enemy. Like you can't they have different experiences, they have different talent. Like it's just, but I get it though. As someone that also, I don't have the same story as Lexi, but as someone that also was not able to graduate college because of many psychological problems, but also substance abuse for a long time. Like I get it. I see people that are my age and like graduated high school with me, and they're like doctors, whatever, and I'm just like, but I'm not in this. I think like, oh, but I'm in the same place, but I'm not. I just took a different path, and so we went different directions, but we both we all grew, but just in different directions. So it's 100%. Especially like in the competition, it's hard to not compare,
It's hard to not compare yourself to the people around you and look at how different you are and not think of yourself as less than because of what other people have accomplished compared to you. You've just accomplished different things. Yeah. Like that's one of the things that
Lexi cannot do what Susie can do, but also Susie can't do what Lexi can do. So like
exactly, Lexi has accomplished so many other things in her life that like Susie doesn't have those experiences. And like I relate to that as well. Like I also haven't graduated college yet. I'm working on it, but it's like one of those things where like I look at people I graduated high school with, literally same situation where I know people I graduated with who are doctors and who are like doing all of this really cool stuff. And I'm, sitting here podcasting, which is great. And it's what I honestly ultimately want to do with my life, but it's not what I thought I'd be doing at this point in my life. I thought I would be a doctor, actually.
I thought I would be a journalist.
I think I might be a journalist at this point. We're getting there, but did not think this was where life would be taking me, talking about drag queens on the internet. But hey, we're here.
Exactly.
I fucking love it. So
I love it. Wouldn't have it any other way, honestly.
Oh, truly. But yeah, it was so nice to see from Lexi. It was so nice to see.
It was kind of like literally watching her kicking the door out of her head. Like literally. And just getting out finally. Love to see it. Don't go back, girl. Stay out.
Please. Please. For the love of God. I was like, oh no. I was a little concerned though, because I was like, oh God, no. Does this mean Lexi goes home?
That's what I thought too.
I truly was like, oh fuck, Lexi's about to go home. No. No.
Not
So
today.
we go to the walkthroughs with RuPaul. My favorite part was salchicha.
I screamed. That was so fun. Like, that's such a great name for a drag queen. Like, I love it. It's the same because it's obviously in Spanish, but it's the same in Portuguese, just like a different spelling. And it's the same. Just the fact that your drag name is hot dog sausage is funny.
Yeah.
To me.
Yep. I love that. Hot dog sausage sparkles.
Period.
Like,
and now I'm thinking about a hot dog, like a rhinestone hot dog. Well,
I live.
So good.
Yeah, Sam's walkthrough was pretty sweet. I mean, they just made Rue last the whole time.
Just
I love
charisma coming out of both of them. Like
Leslie being like, I'm a flip-flop kind of gal. I'm gonna have to work on the heels, but I'll get it.
But she was wearing wedges, so like she can.
Yeah, I'm like she felt like a wedge kind of gal.
Yeah.
But I mean, she's 61. Like, I don't blame her.
Right.
Like, I understand at 61 the wedges are in Alabama. I get it. We find out Susan's maiden name is actually Toot. I did not realize that her maiden name was actually, like, Susie literally stole everything. Like, that's theft, ma'am.
Identity theft.
Literal identity. I mean, she had to change her name when she got married, I guess. She didn't have to. Right. But identity theft,
but Susie said that it was the maiden name, so we know that she did change her name. So,
but identity theft, ma'am.
Yeah. But Susie had mentioned that before somewhere. I don't remember when.
Was it in the Meet the Queens?
I think so.
It might have been. I feel like it might.
It was early on. It was earlier on. Yeah.
No, it was definitely
she got her name from her mom.
I think it was the Meet the Queens. Anya's was very sweet, talking about her dad and not being there a lot, and her dad was just like, no, of course I was going to be here when I got the call. Like, of course I was, obviously. And I love that. Lexi and her mom just cried the whole time. And it's not a joking matter.
Rue loves it.
I was gonna say it's not a joking matter. It's literally just like that's just what happened.
A factual description of
what happened. They just cried the whole time, and I loved it. I love that they had the therapy moment because I think Lexi really needed it. Honestly,
it was at this point, right, that her mom called her she for the first time, or her
called her she,
and we got to see that moment. Thank you for letting us see, like, have that moment.
And then it was so beautiful. and then said he and quickly corrected it to she later in the same moment. And I was like, and even Lexi was like, even when she's like messing it up a little bit, she's still working on it. And I was like, okay, work. Like
it's very much, of course, my relationship with my mom is very different, but like the things that we had to work out, my thought is exactly the same as what Lexi said. She was like, thank you for trying.
Totally.
Because that's the point. Like, you will make mistakes, but you are showing your kid that you were willing to change and to try your best. So,
as long as there's effort involved, that's all that matters. That's all that any of us want.
Yeah.
Like, as long as there's effort involved, that's all we care about.
Yeah.
So,
also, Jules' dad, when they were talking with Rue,
I was gonna say, who did we not talk about? It was
Jules. Yeah. When he was gonna, RuPaul asked something, and then he was saying like how, something about like parenting and the way that he parented Jules, like him and his wife, and he said, "I'm just happy that he's happy." And then he started while he said that, he like started crying and breaking his voice. And I was like, that moment just really got me. Because it's what my mom says all the time. It's like, I'm just happy when you're happy. And that's,
and how they're
kids,
like the
that's
drag,
all we want.
and how they're like the drag parents for Tampa. I was like,
taking her to like
adorable.
The drag shows and all of that, like the full support. Love it.
Yeah. Jules tweeted their first photo from their first drag show in Tampa too. I was like, oh, it's
love
adorable. It's adorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rear walkthrough was really sweet. I really liked it. There was
one moment with Susie and her mom, where Susie put on like the headpiece that they were gonna wear, and then her mom was like, "Why don't we take this off?" While we're moving it, like, why don't we take this off?
Miss Susan realized that RuPaul was not really feeling this headpiece and said, "Let's take this off, shall we?" I loved her.
So good.
So bluntly, dryly funny. Like
shady, but like in a
shady,
subtle way.
but in a subtle, dry way that I really appreciate. Like I live.
Like she asked the question while already removing it. I love that.
Let's.
Why don't we?
How about we? No.
How about we
not? So yes, we go to the workroom the next day. We are getting ready for the makeover. We're shaving some beards. And obviously, Douglas is just a goatee, so it's not that difficult. And obviously, hey, queen, so he doesn't care. It's Andre that has the difficulty.
Because like a fuller beard, and he has had it for like years.
Anya said she had never seen him without a beard.
Okay, that's commitment.
Indeed. He was not happy about it either.
No, but he did it.
He certainly did. He looked, I mean, he almost started crying. He looked good with or without a beard.
Yeah, but it's a big change. I get it.
Yeah. This was the first time we see a little bit of insecurity from Miss Leslie.
Right.
Because as we find out, she's going to be showing a little bit more skin as an older woman. And we found out that her mom won a bikini contest in 1920 or something. I said, Miss Sam, why are you shading your own mother?
With Susie Toot in 1920.
Miss Sam, why are you shading your own mother like this?
Her mom looked good.
Her mom looked great.
Oh.
Her mom looked great.
So good.
In probably, what was that? What would that have been? The 70s or the 80s?
70s, 80s, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Because Sam is like 25, so yeah, probably, yeah, 80s.
80s, yeah. But Miss Leslie is a little bit concerned about, as we then found out on the runway, showing a lot, actually. She showed a lot on the runway. Sam is giving her all of the reassurance, getting very emotional with her. They have a full-on sob moment together. And this was really sweet and emotional. And Miss Leslie is like, nope, we're going to do it. We're going to get it done. And it's going to be great. And we're going to do all the things. And I love this for them. All of the parents seem to be at least a little bit nervous, including Lexi's. But Miss Tammy suddenly gets a little bit less nervous.
Oh, the tape? Girl.
As soon as she gets face taped
immediately. Ooh, she was immediately gagged.
Like, girl, what did you do to me? I was like, I love Lexi, and I love her mother just as much. Like, I loved this moment. She was gooped.
She was living for herself. She was
living for herself. She was like, why didn't you tell me about
She was Alyssa in the mirror, like. Very.
But also, ma'am, unless you wear a wig out, there's not many ways that you could do the face tape on yourself.
I mean, Doechii does it, and it shows.
I was going to say, yeah, Doechii does it.
She doesn't cover it up. Like, I don't like it, but she looks good regardless. You know what I mean?
Yeah, she does look good. I mean, there's ways to do it where you don't cover it, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, we see
we have the Chimosa corner again.
Oh my
a little
god,
bit.
Chimosa corner back! Yay!
Love it.
With a much more likable person this time.
And funnier because Jules asked like, so what do you think? What are you thinking? And then her dad said, I think Mickey Mouse is going down.
I lived for this. I lived for this so much. And then the whole time we get Susie just talking about being really grateful that her mom is here. We get this really, I'm going to be honest, awkward discussion where Susie's like, did you always know I was gay? And she was like, no, but when you came out, I wasn't surprised. And that's where the conversation ends.
She said in confessional, like, oh, this is a moment, this is an opportunity that we have to talk about things that we never did before. And I'm like, fuck, you never ask her that question? Like, that's... No, right. I'm not necessarily judging. I'm just surprised. That's all.
Right.
Like, I get it. Some, like, every family dynamic is different. It's just, I was just like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're scratching the surface still, which, hey, I hope they get there eventually, you know?
Yeah. And then we get the really sweet conversation. And this was, I think, my favorite part of the episode, actually. We get this conversation with specifically Leslie and Susan while Sam and Susie are getting ready. And Leslie's talking about how she's kind of everybody's mom at the bar and how she feels like, because she goes to at least like one performance of Sam's a weekend. And contrasting that with like Susan has only been to, I think, a few performances of Susie's because they start so late.
Yeah, Susie's mom said that when Susie used to do just theater, she used to go and watch more, but since the drag started, she doesn't go that much because of the time, the hours. Yeah. That is, which I, as someone that doesn't like to go out of my house after 10 p.m., I get it.
Totally.
Like,
no, I absolutely get it.
I get it.
Absolutely get it.
She said she went like 3 or 4 times to watch Susie and drag.
But yeah, Leslie was really like, I've kind of become the mom for a lot of people. Like a lot of people are like, can I talk to you? And like just having this like motherly figure around. And Susie's getting really emotional. She's like, a lot of these girls have like really good relationships with their parents. And I just don't really have that. And I'm like, oh, Susie.
Yeah. Which is one of the reasons why I love makeover challenges with family, especially because we get to know the queens a little bit more. And so I still like Susie still kind of rubs me the wrong way in a lot of the time, but like I understand her and why she is the way she is a little bit more now.
Yeah.
And I can have more empathy.
I see why she's a bit more
doing
guarded.
Things that I don't really enjoy.
Like I see why she's a bit more guarded and she puts on a little bit more of this like almost facade. Like I see it now.
Yeah, that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And why she needs to like be her own and first and best and strongest cheerleader because she doesn't have someone else behind her doing that.
I see it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
It does, definitely. So yeah, that's where we're at. So obviously we're gonna talk about the looks and the judges' looks over on Look Over Here. But we can talk about the judging. Anything stand out from the judging from Ru or Michelle for you?
From Ru and Michelle, no, not really. The guest judges really shined. I mean, the rotating judge and then the guest judge were
because
the stars.
Law's back. And our extra special guest judge, June Diane Rayfield. I thought it was Raphael for the longest.
Me too. I thought that too. But also, I just have to say, I'm obsessed with this woman. I love her.
Have you watched Grace and Frankie?
Yes. Many times.
Yeah, I love Grace.
Many times on loop. Yes.
Yes.
I love it. I love her
yeah.
on New Girl. I love her on
Yes.
the little part that she did on Abbott Elementary. I
Yes.
love her. Oh,
She's hilarious.
Obsessed. So happy to see her here.
Yes.
And she made great comments. Like, she was so funny when she said, can we go to the feedback that they gave?
Yeah.
Because when she said to Sam's mom, like, your ass was so prominent, and I said to myself, God, please, when my I can't wait till my kids put me on a thong on TV.
Oh no, that was Lexi's mom.
Lexi's mom, yeah, right.
Yeah, she was like, God, I can't wait for my kids to put me in a thong on TV. I was like, I love her.
Love her.
Like, there's only so much you can do as a guest judge late in the season. Like, that's really, like, she knew the situation she was in, and she rose to the occasion, really. Like, she just came in and just served comedy, and I was really impressed with her.
She was quick, and she was good. Like,
and she wore, so good. So good.
Well, yeah, she looks great. But also the other comment that she made that I loved was about Anya and her dad. She said, the looks feel like two girls who have all the wrong ideas and are telling each other they look fucking great. Because that is so real. It is so, that used to be me and my friends, you know what I mean? Like, it's so relatable. I loved it. And she was correct. I mean,
and then La Roche. La Roche. I love me some La Roche. This man could not stop thirsting over Anya's dad.
Right. I was like, which it was funny. It was funny at points, but at the same, in the beginning, it was funny. When
in
it was
the beginning,
like,
it was funny.
But then when it kept going,
yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
You know. Also, not La Roche saying that, like, Susie's outfit was, like, fashion. Like, like, it wasn't bad, but, like, I was a little.
Is it because it's black and white? Like, I didn't particularly see it for me. Me.
Yeah.
But sure.
When he said that, I was like, oh, okay, maybe, well, fuck my opinion. Like, okay. Sure. That was choices. For sure.
Indeed. Choices were indeed made. Yep. Totally.
Strong, totally. Bold choices.
Indeed. Yes. Yeah, any other opinions on the judging? I think the judging was great this episode.
Yeah.
Other than Michelle going, your drag family resemblance was not there for me. I'm like, girl.
I'm like, okay. It was.
It's the one time I can't stand Michelle every season. I love Michelle. I love Michelle. She is mother. She will always be mother. The one time I can't stand her is when she has to hand fist in. Your drag family resemblance really wasn't there. And I mean, actually, in this case, the two times she said it, I actually kind of agreed. We'll talk about it and look over here. But the two times she said it, I did actually kind of agree.
Okay. I mean, we got a little bit because we had like the judges' feedback. I do think that during makeovers, in general, but then especially and even stronger when it's family makeovers, they don't give like the real feedback on who they think looks good or bad. They try to be like give more neutral comments and more like specific. I think I appreciated La Roche saying this dress is ugly. Like, the dresses are ugly. I appreciated that because they are ugly. I hated it too.
Yeah.
He hated the dresses, me too. Like, I understand why they don't want to give like such negative feedback when a person in their first time in drag is standing in front of them. Like, I get it.
And
I get it and I appreciate it. Right. Exactly. But like, we just know that that's how it's going to be. And then we're going to hear their true opinions when we have the deliberation. You know what I mean? It's just,
Right.
I don't take really into account much of what they say during the actual feedback. But then we have like a few moments where, because then they bring to the stage what they were doing in the workroom with like the family moments and the emotional moments and all of that. And we kind of have a rerun of that kind of in a way in the runway, right? But nothing really that stood out that we hadn't already kind of touched on.
No.
Right?
Oh my God. But what we didn't touch on was the fact that they all did before and after photo shoots.
The pictures. Oh
my God.
My God.
Wait, because all of them were so good. I didn't pull them.
So good.
I didn't pull them, and I feel so bad for not pulling them. But my favorite, by far, without a doubt, Jules and Douglas. The fucking Jewel and the sausage.
I screamed. It was so good. And then Anya and her dad, and then the dog that had like that. The Doberman. You know when they have like dogs that look like you, like that thing, like kind of like very. Yes. It was that. It was that.
Yes, I loved it.
I loved
every moment of it.
It's so
it was
cute,
so dumb.
Camp.
It was so stupid. And then my favorite of the makeover photo shoots was actually Susie and Queenie, because Queenie straight to camera. Straight to camera. She ate down, mama. I was like, Miss Queenie knows how to pose. And like with that severe black and white makeup, I was like, oh, okay, ma'am. Yeah. Ma'am. Okay. Yeah.
I also liked Jules and her dad's like the after picture. I like the picture more than I liked what was going down on the runway.
Okay, hold on a minute, because you cannot tell me in that photo that Salchicha does not look like our Tita baby.
Oh, she looked great. And yes, now that you say it,
I like literally I was like, she looks like Tita baby. I was like, did Tita baby pop in for this makeover?
Is Tita baby Jules' mom? Like father?
You know?
Hello?
I would like to see it.
Well, they're just as sweet as each other, you know? So it would make sense.
Indeed.
It would make sense.
Indeed.
In a different universe. In an alternate universe.
In an alternate universe, Tita baby is the drag mother of Jules Sparkles. Confirmed.
Yes. You heard it here first.
Yep. Confirmed. Make it happen. Period. Thank you. But no, I loved that added touch of those like dumb 80s photo shoot things. I think that was a really nice touch. For no reason other than to just have it.
And for our enjoyment. Thank you.
Truly.
I appreciate it. I
was 3 glasses of wine in at this point, and it made me so like I cackled. It was so
You know what that those pictures made me think? That we need a mini challenge, like a quick drag mini challenge where they take high school yearbook pictures.
Absolutely.
Right?
Drag Race.
Or like where they do like, because they did in season 2, they did like the wedding picture where they have like the bride in the room. They could do something with like prom pictures, you know what I mean, like something like that. I don't know. It gave me ideas. It made me think.
Not?
No. Right.
Bring back dumb photo shoot mini challenges.
Yes, not that like the photo bombing. We can have it from time to time, but like we can do other things.
We can do other things. Come on now.
Yeah.
World of Wonder, you can have that. Just give us residuals.
Yeah. If they do like they did on Canada recent season, they did like the 90s inspired episode where the whole episode was 90s inspired. If they did like an 80s episode where the mini challenge is an 80s prom picture challenge.
How fun.
Anyway.
Yes. Absolutely.
Hire me as a producer. Wow.
Hire us both as producers. Thank you.
Hello.
But
please and thank you.
Thank you very much. Or we'll just replace Joey Nolfi and we'll do all the interviewing.
Right.
Actually, no, I like Joey Nolfi.
No, we would not be able to handle the chaos. We would add to the chaos of those interviews.
But what's wrong with that?
Who says it doesn't need to be chaotic, right? Yes.
Y'all could use another journalistic site, and we're happy to provide.
Yes.
So, Untucked was, fairly uneventful for the first 20 minutes and then got dramatic all of a sudden.
Yeah, like very emotional, like not dramatic in a negative way, but just like a lot of emotions.
Yes.
Right?
So it's mostly like, how are the parents feeling? Oh, everyone's fine. Yeah. And then the parents leave, and all of a sudden it's like, well, I'm not in the bottom. Well, I know I'm not in the bottom. Well, I know that I'm not in the bottom. So I don't know about you, but I'm not in the bottom. And then Anya over here is like, well, I have 4 wins and I know the song. So if I'm in the bottom, I'm not going home. And I was like, well.
And she was like, I'm listening to the song. I'm ready. Like,
exactly.
Whatever goes down, I'm ready. And then there was a moment. This is where, after the parents left, where Lexi went to the camera and like thanked her mom for trying. That was the moment that I already mentioned, but it was in Untucked. And then we cut to the moment that you were talking about, where people were like, oh, "Who's in the bottom? Whatever. What's gonna happen?" And then Jules was the delusional queen of this Untucked, episode this week. She said everyone got fabulous critiques, and then Sam was like, "That's not true.
That's not true.
That's not true." And Jules said, "Well, who got bad critiques?" And Sam said, "You and Anya." Immediately, I'm like, "Yes. Well, yes.
Well, yes."
She's not wrong.
No.
But I love that she was just like, she clocked Jules. She was like, "You're not. What we're not gonna do is pretend that everyone got amazing. Like, no."
Yeah, no, we're not going to do that, darling. Sorry.
Everyone got at least one positive critique, yes.
Correct.
But not.
And several people got a slightly negative critique.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Like, only one person got all positive critiques.
Right.
So, like, yeah, that's, yeah.
And like I already said before, like the girls, like we see the judges deliberating after. So like the girls only get in the makeover challenge, like I mentioned, like they only get that vision of what the judges think. They don't get like that what they really think after. So they don't really have the correct assumption of what's really going down. So it makes it fun to watch, kind of. It was very like
if I'm
trying to do the math.
If I'm a queen on Drag Race, like probably for every challenge, honest to God, unless I know for sure I'm in the top or safe, but like probably from like top 7 on, or whenever they're giving critiques to everybody, like I'm listening to the song for every, like in every Untucked. Like that's just how I would go about it, like just in case. Because at that point, that's where critiques start to be a little bit more ambiguous. Like, I'm just in case. I want to make sure I have the song in my brain at least a couple of times right beforehand. Like, I'm going to make sure that I'm good regardless.
Or just like the Jules, I think, mentioned that, or someone mentioned that at this point, like where they had Saphira and Morphine, instead of it being a bottom 2, it was a top 2 by the end of the season.
Yes.
So like, not only by the end of the season, but
episode.
Yeah, but also in the beginning, like where they did the talent show and it was a top 2. So like, you never know when it's going to be. Like most of the time is a bottom 2, yes, but you never know at what point of the season they're going to decide to do a top 2. So honestly, you should always be ready, unless you're sure that you're safe. Just safe.
Yeah. If you are called safe by RuPaul out of his mouth, then
you're good. Yeah.
Then you're good.
But if you're in the top, if it was me, I would be listening to the song regardless.
100%, always 100%. But, and then they all have a cute little moment where they're all on the couch together and they're like, oh my God, top five, because they think they're about to go down to a top 4. Little did they know what was about.
Well, they were kind of, foreshadowing. Jules was like, oh, it's going to be a top 2. No one's going home. Like, she got it kind of right.
She got it half right because she said things after the fact in her confessional to make it right.
Yeah. But she was saying, like, I'm not lip syncing. A girl.
Well, Julie.
Well, let's be real. Cut 2.
Our results.
Literally.
Let's talk about it. So, our winner of this week, we didn't even really talk about our thoughts on the makeovers.
I mean, let's do it before we get the results then. I have my ranking for the
let's do our rankings. We haven't done that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before results.
Your first place?
It was Sam.
Mine was as well.
Second place was Lexi.
My second place was actually Susie.
Okay. And then Susie was third for me.
My third was Lexi.
I would imagine, yeah. And then Jules, number 4, and Anya, unfortunately, number 5.
Jules, number 4, and Anya, number 5. Yeah, mine was literally cut and paste what the judges had. I would have had, though, here's where I make a very specific distinction. I would have had Lexi safe as opposed
instead
to
of
low.
Bottom. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Low, yeah.
I don't think Lexi deserved a low placement for this. I understand why she was low. I do get it.
By default, kind of. So, yeah.
Yeah. I think a lot of it had to do with the physical transformation of the makeover. And for that, I do understand. I personally wouldn't have put her low. And if that's Lexi Love bias, then so be it. But I wouldn't have put her low. I would have had her as just safe. That's just me personally. But
and also because for the makeover, they the judges they don't take into account just the look. There's like other things in how you present yourself on the runway that counts. So
it's the garments, it's the performance, it's the physical transformation,
the relationship that is being transmitted.
It's the relationship. Yes. It's the physical connection during the performance. There's a lot of things to keep in mind. So that is the only reason why I would have like Lexi second and Susie third. Just for that. No, not necessarily because of the outfits. And I would have had Lexi safe as opposed to low because I think Lexi and Susie's performances were a lot closer than the judges did. That's where I make that distinction for sure. But our winner, as we both agree, Sam Star. Yay!
Yes.
Deserved.
For sure.
We'll talk about it in look over here, but it's a great looks, wonderful looks, fabulous looks.
Yes.
And our bottom 2, as we both agreed, Jules and Anya. I was watching with friends as I usually do. And before the runway, we were all like, oh, so who's going to be in the bottom? And we all predicted, funny enough, we predicted that it was going to be Lexi and Susie.
Oh.
Because we were like, because just by the way the episode was going and by like the way things were looking, we were like, no, Jules isn't going to be there. Like, we're getting such positive storyline. Oh,
I thought like so too, kind of. Mm-hmm.
Like Anya's is so good. And then we watched the runway and we were like, oh, Sam killed it. Great. Lexi killed it. Oh my God, she looks so good. And her mom looks so good. Oh, Susie's got this great performance. And then Jules came out and we were all just like, oh, okay. And then Anya came out and we were all like, oh, okay. Oh. And then it cut to commercial and I turned to all of them and I was like, oh, so it's Jules and Anya, isn't it? And they all, we were all like, yeah, it's Jules and Anya.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Like.
But then I also thought, oh, we're getting a show. I was like, damn, but also.
I was like, we better have a good song for this lip sync. And a good song we got. This is a song I've been waiting to see for a while. One Thing by Amarie. I love this song. This is a song that the fandom has been waiting to see for a while as well. It's been rumored on a couple of iPods on previous seasons. And then as well, Max Drag Queen from Drag Race Down Under, shout out Max, tweeted as well that this was a song that was supposed to be on their lip sync list for Down Under 4, but got cut last minute.
See, I didn't know this song, but
really,
I know.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I did. Like, I didn't know like by the name or artist. Maybe I've heard it before. It wasn't like completely strange to me, but I don't. Yeah. I can't like put a pin on it. I don't remember. But I loved it. It was oh my god, such a great song. Such a great song.
Dare I say best lip sync of the season? One of, I will say, one of.
Definitely up there. Definitely
like, I think...
It was good because both queens did, to me, in my opinion, almost equally as good. Like, by very little.
Yeah.
Because we do have, well, spoiler alert, not, I don't know, but no one went home. A tie.
No one went home. It's a tie! That's the second time I've made that reference in the last 2 days.
Hi. But I did think that Anya did, like it was more like the face, like the facial expressions, like she just glued me to her and made me want to watch her. Jules was doing a great job as well. Great job. But Anya did edge her out by a little bit, in my opinion.
Okay. What's so interesting about this lip sync for me is they took two completely different approaches.
Yes.
And that's what makes it so interesting is like Jules was just dancing the house down and Anya just took this comedic approach. And I was so actually excited to see Anya lip sync because I was like, I don't know what to expect from Anya in this lip sync. For me though, I actually think Jules maybe edged her out just a touch.
Okay.
Just a touch. I think Jules had the dancing. She had some really good timing. Her reveal when the Pussycat wig came out and she had this long black like
the Cher
when
hair.
She literally said the Latina came out. I was like, oh. And then she had this bra top on with the pants and the boots. I was like, this look is everything. Like she had the stunts, she had the good moments, but Anya did so well as well. She had the good like facial expressions. Like she really served some good drag here. Like it was so close. I think I would actually give the edge to Jules on this lip sync.
So we agree. It should have been.
So we agree
because
no one goes home.
Period. Yes. Here's the thing. You thought Jules did better. I think Anya did a little bit better, but I'm happy. I don't care. I'm happy that neither of them were eliminated.
I don't care.
Either way.
My ideal outcome after watching the lip sync was that no one went home. So I'm thrilled that no one went home. Because going into it, I was like, oh, fuck, Jules has got to do, Jules has got to walk over water, essentially, in order to win this lip sync to,
spit fire.
Literally to beat Anya 5 Wins nerve. But, hey, double save. And I'm not too mad at it.
Mm-hmm.
Do I kind of wish it was last week still? Maybe. Am I happy it's this week? Yes, because I love Anya and I love Jules and I don't want to see either of them go home. So I'm very thrilled. No one went home. And I love it. And I'm a big fan of it. And we still have a top 5.
Yes. And I kind of like, I love that we get to see more of these queens. So
I agree completely. Yeah. And we go into next week. I'm very excited for next week's challenge. We are auditioning to headline RuPaul's Drag Race Live. Where's my fan?
And I kind of already mentioned it, but like, who do I think is going to do well in this challenge?
Jules.
Jules.
Who do I think is going to do well in this challenge?
Lexi.
And also
maybe on Anya. Potentially.
I think all 5 of them are going to do really well in this challenge, actually.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be a really strong challenge for all of them. But we get a beautiful, lovely cameo from Latrice motherfucking Royale!
Yes! Love it.
I mean, of all the Drag Race Live girls, I think Latrice is one of the best choices to bring in to do something like this for the final 5. She is one of the girls that has been there the longest on Drag Race Live, so I love it.
I think it should have been like either her. If it wasn't her, I love that it's her, but if it wasn't her, it would have been like Derek. You know?
Or Kennedy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or Asia O'Hara.
Oh, Asia's the host. It should have, you know.
Could have.
I'm never mad at Latrice. I am never mad at Latrice.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, if it wasn't going to be Latrice, like, the other good options would be those.
Yeah. Because Latrice does host.
Love that it's her. Yeah.
Yeah, Latrice does host. Asia hosts. Yeah. So, you know, I love Latrice. So I'm very happy to see Latrice. But yes, and then we have at least one girl will be going home.
At least.
I love the ambiguity of that. I'm a big fan
of
it.
I'm
not gonna lie to you.
Keeping everyone on their toes. Love it.
Indeed and indubitably. But before we go, I have a draft update. And not much has changed in the standings, but points have changed. So let's run through it very quickly. Brandon is out with 31.5 points. David is out with 52 points. Is everyone else still in? Everyone else is still in. So Sugar is in 6th place with 66 points. I am in 5th place with 69.5 points.
Nice.
River is in 4th with 80 points. Lana is in 3rd with 85 points. Kamorian is in 2nd with 107 points. And Brooke is leading the draft with 129.5 points.
Jesus, give anyone else a chance.
No.
There isn't one.
No, they've decided not to.
It's done. It's done.
Yeah, pretty much. So with that being said,
rigged. I'm just kidding.
No, they just did a really good job preseason.
Yes.
Of picking Anya, Susie, and Lexi.
Yeah.
So
at this point, all we can do is watch Brooke win.
At the end of the day, all we can do is watch Brooke win the draft. So with that being said, thank you for joining us for this recap of RuPaul's Drag Race Season 17, Episode 13. Make sure to check out our Look Over Here episode, which will be dropping tomorrow at the time that we're dropping this video, where we will be talking about the makeover looks. Subscribe, like, and share. We're covering a couple of other fun drag things here on the channel, and any other Drag Race franchises that pop up whenever they decide they're going to.
We'll be here.
We'll be here to cover them. Check out the description below where you can find our other YouTube channels, all of our audio podcast links, our Patreon, our social media, and where you can get your merch, Duck not included. And with that being said, we are going to go ahead and get out of here. So cheers.
Cheers.
And don't forget the Ella.